Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. Today I will presenting on the topic analysis of integration and interaction of language skill. This topic is vital especially for those of us preparing to become English teacher because it helps us understand how to design effective and communicative language learning experience. Rather than teaching each skill listening, reading, speaking, and writing in isolation, it's important to see how they can and should work together in a cohesive and meaningful way. Next slide, learning outcome statement. Students are able to analyze the integration and interaction of language skill. Students are expected to understand and critically examine how language skills are connected in language learning. So, the core learning outcome for this topic is students are able to analyze the integration and interaction of language skill. This means that you should not only be able to define and understand what language skills are, but critically evaluate how they are used in combination in teaching and learning situation. Your ability to analyze this integration is crucial in preparing and delivering well-rounded language lessons. Next slide. What does analyze mean? The first one is a higher order thinking skill, breaking down and evaluating relationship among parts of our concept. Students not only understand but also critique how language skills are applied. So, to analyze means to break down a concept into its component part and examine the relationship among them. In the context, it involves examining how language skills are taught together and how they support one another in practice. So, for example, when a teacher uses a reading text and follow it with a group discussion and writing task, they are integrating and sequencing skill in a meaningful way. You should be able to observe, identify, and assess this kind of activity, understanding their pedagogical value. Okay, next slide is language skills. So, there are four here: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. So, in the language skills are traditionally divided into four main types. So the first one is listening. Listening is a receptive skill where learners decode spoken language. Speaking, a productive skill where learners produce spoken language. And reading, also a receptive skill, involve the interpretation of written text. And writing, a produce skill where learners create written context. So these skills are often categorized as receptive or input and productive output skills. So understanding this classification is important because it helps us plan how learners process language and then produce it. Next slide. Integration of language skills. So, the first one is combining two or more skills in one learning activity. For example, read an article, write and summary, discuss orally, and creates authentic and communicative learning. So, integration refers to the deliberate combination of two or more language skills skill within a learning task or sequence. In the real world, language use is rarely isolated. For example, in a job interview, you need to listen and speak. When writing a report, you may first read related document. For example, a task-based learning activity might involve reading a brochure about a tourist destination. So, then writing a prompting email, followed by presenting the destination in front of the class. Here, reading, writing, and speaking are integrated into one cohesion lesson. Next slide. Integration of language skills. So, each skill support and influence the others. For example, reading and writing enrich vocabulary and structure. Listening, speaking involve pronunciation and response. So, integration helps when one language skill enhance or influence the development of another. These relationships are dynamic and mutually supportive. For instance, extensive reading improve vocabulary and grammatical awareness, which in turn enhance writing and speaking skills. Likewise, a good listening skill can boost pronunciation and comprehension, which are necessary for effective speaking. For example, when students listen a podcast and then summarize it verbally, they are using listening to inform speaking. If they then write a respective journal, writing is supported by the vocabulary and ideas guided from listening and speaking. Next slide. Why is this important? So, the first one is makes learning more contextual and reflective. Second is student can evaluate and design integrate language instruction, enhances readiness to become communicative English teacher. So, understanding the integration and interaction of language skill is essential because it mirrors how language is used in authentic context. So for teacher, this knowledge allow for designing richer, more meaningful lesson that reflect real life communication. It also fosters a more engaging learning environment and help learners transfer skill more effectively from one domain to another. For example, a communicative classroom project might involve students creating a class newspaper. They must read news, write articles, interview peers, or speaking and listening, and present the newspaper. This promotes engagement and skill transfer. Next slide. Example of analysis activity. So, the first one is observe English language teaching activity. Identify which language skills are used. Analyze how the skills are integrated and interact. Provide suggestion for improvement. So, one practical way to apply this understanding is through classroom observation and analysis. You could be asked to watch an English lesson and analyze which skills are being used, so how they are connected and whether the integration is active. For example, observe a video of lesson where students listen a story, discuss the plot in pairs, and then write an alternate ending afterward analyze. So, afterward analyze is what skills are involved, how were they sequence and connect, did each skill support the development of the others, and etc. Next slide is conclusion. So, language skills do not stand alone, and analyzing integration and interaction help design effective, meaningful, and communicative language learning. So, language skills should not be taught in isolation. Real communication require the integration and interaction of listening, speaking, reading, and writing. As future teacher, being able to analyze how these skills work together will help you create a better lesson plan and learning experience. Ultimately, this will support your student in becoming more competent and confident users of English in real world context. I think that's all for me. I hope I hope my explanation and this material is clear, and I hope you understanding. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.